800 folks here, so I don't know what happened with you 9th, 10th, and 11th. You guys got it all figured out, all right? Every bit, yeah. Some of you have been on there on day 2. We're going to pump you full of a lot of information. I'm not going to go over a whole lot because I went over that. With any newbies in here, newbies didn't come up that are new to this whole process. Okay. All right, so you've been introduced to this. You understand it a little bit. Now there's more opportunities, all right, for current 9th, 10th, and 11th graders after their freshman year. And just like I said last year, you know, we want student parents to be involved as much as possible as we partner with you to serve your student. They need you more now than ever, okay? They really do. Just to go over what I always say, you know, we expect 3 pillars that I go over with students is continue to work on yourself. That's very, very important, all right? Work on yourself, on your strengths, your weaknesses. You're not automatically smart when you walk through the door. You're going to have to work on it. You're going to have to work at it. So each level, okay, it's a little tougher. We're going to challenge them academically, but the best thing of all is we want a well-rounded human being when they leave here. We want them to have a personalized plan of action when they go off to either college or the workforce, whatever that might be, and we're here to help. All right, so there's so many opportunities for your student to have inside the building, outside the building. Counselors will be going over that. But before we do, I see Megan up here. Megan wants to talk to you about our PAWS organization. She does a fantastic job. That's our parent group. And any help that you can give us on the parent side of things, please do so. Okay, I will turn it over to her, Megan.
I'm Megan Hamilton. I had a senior graduate last year, and this year I've got a freshman. I'm here for the long haul. So if you have any questions about PAWS, please come. Feel free to talk to me about anything. Our main thing we're going to get ready for coming up is going to be prom. Normally, in years past, we've done after prom, but with prom being hosted at the high school, it kind of isn't something that we can do this year. But last year, it was the same thing, and instead of having after prom, PAWS had refreshments and desserts in the cafeteria for the students, and they loved it. Normally, when we do after prom, we have a ton of stuff left over. I don't think we took but maybe 1 or 2 things of cookies back with us. So the students really appreciated having some water and snacks in between their dancing, and really enjoyed it. And we also were able to give away prizes throughout the night. So really, you do not have to do a lot to be involved with PAWS. We don't have weekly or even monthly meetings, but I do need volunteers to make phone calls to bakeries or businesses to try to get things donated. The more we get donated, the money that we do have in our account can be used for other things like prizes for the students. We also will have Teacher Appreciation Week coming up, the first week of May. So that's really all I've got right now. So if you are able to make any phone calls, or you know of any businesses that would love to be able to donate anything, we will take almost anything, whether it's the prizes that we give away or gift cards or anything that we can use. I will be at the table that you saw when you walked in with the merchandise on it, and you can give me your name and just let me know what you are able to do. Thank you.
Thank you. If you volunteer for anything, please let us know. Getting back to the scheduling commitment again, we appreciate your help. 3 pillars: working on yourself continuously, developing your communication skills. I always tell the students, once you open your mouth and tell the world who you are. And the third is giving back. All right, we want to give back, or the second is giving back through community service or just being kind. Giving back, that's part of good qualities. The third thing is surrounding you, and I think the most important these days, surrounding yourself with phenomenal people. People that can build you up, that are there to support you. We are all involved in that as you are committed to your student or here, right? You could very easily stay at home, but surrounding them with good people. You know, my mom always said, birds of a feather, what? Flock together, right? So we want to continue that support with your help. And so we have a lot of information for you tonight. There's going to be a pop quiz after. So make sure that you're ready. That's a joke. You're supposed to laugh at my jokes. But there is a lot of information. There's going to be videos for you that walk you step by step through the scheduling process. Some things have changed a little bit. After you go through that process and you sit down with your child and schedule, and I think you should do that. I recommend that you do that. If you still have questions, please contact guidance. All of our advocate teachers are here through 9th and 10th and 11th grade. If you want to stop and talk to them too, they can help answer some questions. But we're here to help you. And there's so much opportunity, like I said, it can get confusing at times. And it's important to us that your child gets scheduled the way they need to be scheduled to prepare them for life after high school. I want to start off with a few just people I want to introduce here. Kelly Powers will be talking to you. She's in our guidance counselor office. She's over our guidance counselors. She meets with students A through D. All right, last names. Cassie Campbell was here last night. She's E through J. Tommy Joe Losner was also here last night, K through Q. Neil Hayden is here. He's also our basketball coach. R through Z, last name's Miss Megan Nicodemus. Megan was out in the lobby. There she is, our Family Resource Youth Service Center Coordinator, otherwise known as what we call Friskies. She's here for all student service needs. Lori Reddish, her name's not up here, she's also our Student Assistance Coordinator. She helps with our guidance office, with Megan, our nursing. She's here to help with students as well. And then Miss Amanda Jerome, she's currently Davis County High School CCR Coordinator, our District Coordinator. She's doing a lot of things for our building, and might want to talk to you tonight. I think I'm going to do a little spiel about these things up here. CCR District Coordinator, Empower You, Life Science, Ag Engineering, Early College, and Dual Credit. Okay? I think, Ms. Powers, you are up, and we'll get going with everything scheduled.
Thank you. I'm just going to walk you through the process. I do want to say thank you so much for making time to be here tonight. You look around and this is 3 grades worth of people, and I didn't see the crowd last night, but I bet you all are smaller. So I commend you all for staying invested in your students' education and in high school. Last year when we saw you all as incoming freshman parents, we said, please stick around, please come back, please always come to the meetings. We want you to be around. Megan invited you all to join Paul's, and I hope that some of you will consider doing that, taking part in supporting our students, because she has like a really small group and does tons of things for faculty and students here that we greatly appreciate. So when your student is scheduling, now you know a little bit. Mr. Mason mentioned you've been through the process. So your students are sitting in classes now, so you kind of get how the day works, that there's 4 blocks a day, and you're understanding the level they're in and how well they're performing. And some of them are doing great, and some of them are struggling. And so use that information, use what you know to help make decisions as you move forward for the next step for your student. I think sometimes it's really overwhelming to try to make a plan for your student. You know, when they're a freshman, you're trying to think about the 4-year plan, and people want to know, like, honors diploma, and how am I going to map that out? And we ask you to just really focus on 1 year at a time. It's okay to ask questions like, well, if I do this, will it prevent me from being in this program later? Those are fair questions. But usually the answer to that is no. There are some stipulations along the way. So our students that are current here, so that's all of you all of your kids, will be in advocates for designated times during the scheduling window. This does not close until August the 24th. So at this point, you all are hearing this before your students even. So they haven't really started so much. What's happened so far is that our teachers here in our building have recommended your students for their core areas of English, math, science, social studies. It's possible foreign language or choir or band may have also added something in their schedule that they recommend for your student as well. That is their recommendation. We consider them the professionals in the field. So if it's their English teacher, we ask that you strongly consider what has been recommended in that subject. So if they say pre-AP, that means your student's performing well and they think that you can continue with that. Please keep that in mind. But also, you know your student best and you know what they're going to be involved in. So if they're in band, we know how many hours that takes outside of school. So if they're in school 8 hours, band 2 or 3 or 4 hours. After that, like how much time is left that they're willing to do kids are loving it, and you're talking to me about how they want to take the most challenging courses, and I'm saying AP all the way, and showing them all the ones they can take and how they can collect the most AP credits before they graduate. So each kid is different, and we're here to help support you make good decisions for your kids tonight. So I say all that, they're going to start in advocates with their homeroom, and as Mr. Mason mentioned, the advocates are sprinkled in the crowd tonight, and they're going to see a video. Each counselor recorded a video that talks about specific to that grade. So your rising sophomores, juniors, seniors will see a different counselor telling about what you should be looking for next. So they're going to have scheduling supplies in there, and with that, the teacher recommendations that I mentioned. You could go home tonight and have your student log into Infinite Campus and look at your academic planner, and you would already see what those recommendations are. So if you're eager to see, what did my teacher say I should take, you can do this with your student tonight. Also, we'll be providing transcripts, like paper copies of them for our advocates during those days, and we're going to want them to look at those and compare them to the graduation checklist. So on the back of the form that you were handed today is the graduation checklist. And we're going to talk more about the different levels, but we're going to ask them to take the transcript beside the checklist and start making a check. So it's a to-do list. You have to do all the things before you get to graduate. So it's like, which ones can I mark off that I've taken and passed? And then what's next in line? And that's what we're here today to talk about. Also, the scheduling handbook is online. So when a student says, I might be interested in multimedia publishing, and you're like, what is multimedia publishing? If you want to see a course description of every course offered, you can go there and read a very detailed description of each class. It also says like how many credits it's worth or what graduation requirement it might fulfill, whether it's 9 weeks, 18 weeks, if there's any prerequisites, meaning a class you have to take before, or it might say beside it junior or senior level only. You can refer to that as well. The handout that I get that you got going in is actually it's a copy of a hyperdoc. So the students will get emailed this, and this is on our school website right now too, off to the side. It says scheduling, there's hyperdoc, so you can click on this, and then you can actually watch the video yourself. So if you want to see what your kids are going to see in the advocate classroom, you can see that. You can also see the scheduling handbook. Okay, so this is the example like what you have on the back. It's very tiny font, but those are the 3 different diploma types we offer in our district. It's career prep, and college prep, and then honors. And so the basic differences of those, the honors diploma requires a minimum of 5 AP classes and 3 years of the same foreign language. So we recommend if your student is in like French or Spanish 1, that they go ahead and request that the next year. We don't like to really see a lapse in that. If your student's in AP classes and they're finding success, keep going with that. And then next is the college prep diploma. College prep is different in career prep in that it requires your student to take Algebra 2 and 2 years of the same foreign language and a lab science, being chemistry or physics. So then the most basic diploma is our career prep diploma. That means no foreign language is required. So let's say your student's sitting in the first year of foreign language, or they haven't yet, you haven't been able to twist their arm, that's not their thing. They do not have to take that to graduate from Dixon High School. That is good for, student going in the career, OCTC, those are students that often take that in. Instead of chemistry or physics, they often take the earth and space option as their third science option. And I'll let Mr. Hayden.
I want to welcome everybody. Again, I'm Mr. Hayden, and I have an alphabet R through Z, but I want to talk to you about just some core content classes that your student, again, rising sophomore through rising senior may have. It's important to know that you've got to get the 26 credits. That's the biggest thing to take away. And then knowing the diploma type is also going to vary what students may need in their schedules. So with a crowd of different level of students that you may be on a different path as far as what they've taken with the group that's in here. The biggest thing to remember with English, that they may have already taken English 1 or 2 on the grade level that's in here. May have already taken an AP English lane, working towards lit, or even started the dual credit process, again, depending on the grade of the student in here. The biggest thing you've got to take away is that you need 4 credits in English. So what that could look like for next year could be English 4. It could be AP language or AP lit. It could be dual credit English 101 or even 102. Ms. Jerome has been sending out plenty of announcements to communicate that dual credit. She's here to speak about that. The one thing that I want to talk about with AP is you go into scheduling window here soon, that a student, if they're in their first AP class, like AP language, they may want to go ahead and schedule, or should go ahead and schedule, as if they were going to pass the exam. For anybody that has an AP student, those scores typically come out the 1st of July. Around July 8th or 9th is typically the date. So that is something to consider. And you can always kind of backtrack if they find out that's not for them, or if they don't pass the exam, or don't want to continue that program. You will see recommendations from your English teacher already. Ms. Powers has already touched on that. But again, the takeaway for English is you need 4 credits of English to graduate. Math. This can look different. Again, the diploma type matters. And students come in with middle school credits. That also can dictate as far as what they bring in or will take over their time. But they're going to take Algebra 1 and they're going to take Geometry. And then you can get into the various maths based on the diploma type over their time. So you may see 9-week intro courses. Students throughout their time may take classes such as intermediate, college algebra, may take math 150 through dual credit, may take business math. It can be a whole list of what you see. I won't read all this to you. And the big thing that I would want to talk to you about is it's not necessarily 4 classes. You need to pay attention that it's 4 credits of math for graduation. So for example, if a student took selected topics of math, that is a 9-week class that would be a half credit. So make sure you're not just counting the number of classes that they've had in their schedule, but it is the number of credits that they'll need for graduation. So that is really important. And the same thing, recommendations for that have already been done, and you can see that in the planner. Science. They've already, again, based on the age of the student or family that's in here, we've already taken possibly integrated science and AP environmental science. Probably heading towards biology, and then again 3 credits of math, different than English and math. You need 3 credits for graduation, and then that third science is again going to be based on the diploma type that student is pursuing, which you can all see that on the checklist of how to do this. But the main thing to remember in science is that you need 3 to graduate. So, for example, they may take integrated science their freshman year, biology their sophomore year, and their junior year they want to take a break and finish that up their senior year. So it doesn't have to be, there can be a break where they could finish in their junior year and not have any science in their senior year schedule. So again, biggest thing they get to is 3 credits as they work their way to 26 overall. And then social studies, again, just hitting up the core content. So students are starting with world history their freshman year. That can also be AP Human Geography will be something that's been new, that will be advertised through the videos. And so the students pursuing things their sophomore, junior, senior year is going to be U.S. history, maybe even going the route of AP U.S. history, which I would recommend. And they'll work through half credits in social studies classes such as government and econ that can be taken that junior or senior year. But then we also have the AP version of AP government, and coming back will be AP microeconomics. Again, dual credit could be an option through government econ for an example, but something that you need to know, again, like science, you need 3 social study credits to graduate. Again, you'll see that on the planner, you'll see that on the checklist as they work through this. And then I'll turn it back over to Ms. Powers.
But once you get through the basics and you're looking at your students, we ask them to start with the core, like think about English, math, science, social studies. Those are the ones that we want you to look at and think about each year, because except for science and social studies, you need at least 1 credit each year. Then we start looking at electives, and that's when we start trying to personalize schedules for students. That's when it's good to start thinking about, well, what does my student like? What classes are they hearing about? What areas are offered here? And what might they want to do in the future? And that's when you can start exploring those things with your student. So some options, some different departments I just wanted to highlight briefly. And again, if you go in the scheduling handbook, you can look in detail. If you think agriculture, oh, that sounds like something I'd like my student to take, or I can really see them enjoying that, go through and read the description. So that's one. We have an art department, business, family and consumer science. Brand new this year, we're offering aviation. So if your student wants to take flight school on the ground and learn to fly a drone, etc., they're really excited about this offered next year, and that'll be an 18-week class followed by aviation too. So if it's something they want to do year-round, they could request both of those this year. So that's brand new. PE, lots of electives there. If your student is an athlete, you may have heard of, like, them talking about, like, I have to take baseball weights or soccer weights. You'll see those sports performance classes designated as the specific sport, and you can request those accordingly. And if you don't, then your coach will email me and tell me to put them in there anyways. There's technology courses, and then, of course, lots of dual credit options, both here at Davis County High School and on OCTC's campus. And Mr. Jerome is going to speak about that in a minute. Of course, there's year-long classes. You want to make sure you request both sides of it, like marching band, concert band. Like there's two sides. So band, choir, orchestra, the Empower You courses that Ms. Jerome talks about those programs with LSA, engineering, agriculture, and ROTC. Co-op. Oh, sorry, just that. Sorry. I can do this. Okay, co-op. So co-op is when your student goes to work. Some of your students here maybe have a job, or you'd like for them to get a job. We incorporate that into the school day, and they get credit and a grade for going to work. So it's pretty fabulous for a lot of students. They really like to take advantage of that. It's offered 4th block, so around 2 o'clock each day, they're excused to go to work. They sign out with their co-op teacher to do that. In order to co-op, they can't just sign up for co-op. There's another class involved with it. So no matter if they're a junior or a senior going in business co-op, there's a specific class that you need to request. And then ag co-op, you can take any ag class, but you must take an additional ag class to be in the ag co-op. The junior yeah, sorry, it's new this year, so I have to read it. Okay, Business and Marketing Essentials is the class that you're junior. So if you have a sophomore that wants to work maybe in that Business and Marketing Essentials, you'll want to request that with co-op, fall, and spring. And it is permissible to just take it one semester. So, like, I'm thinking if I was a sophomore parent sitting here and I'm thinking I want my kid to get a job soon, but they're not going to have their license until the spring, you could request it just in the spring, like the spring semester of ag or business co-op. Ag co-op, already said that, already did my class, okay. And then COSA certification, some of the departments that I mentioned earlier offer COSA certification in the scheduling handbook. Those are laid out really nicely. So if you start finding a student who loves ag, family consumer science, business, there's pathways where they can earn a COSA certificate for that. And we like to encourage students to do that. Sort of like a major in college. If they find something they like, then we want them to kind of continue down that pathway.
Just to reiterate on the co-op portion, students must be passing those classes to stay in co-op. Okay, I can't have them leaving the building if they're not passing the classes. It's a great opportunity. They need to take advantage of it. They also get a career credit as far as accountability with the hours they work. That's something new. And our teachers do a great job of going out into the community, working with businesses, partnering, making sure they turn in time sheets, all of that stuff, working on soft skills, things that our kids and adults really need these days, it seems like. So that's a big thing. Right now, a lot of your students, some of your students in here, are taking the CTE course exams called the end of program test. So when they pass that end of program test, they can get, if they pass it, up to 3 college credit hours, okay, in some instances. So we're doing ag right now, business, family consumer science. We're doing all those CTE end of course exams right now. And those exams really mean a lot to your student. It helps them with jobs, going out and getting jobs. You get them credit at the end of the day. So we're doing that right now. You might have heard of that. Some letters have been sent home once they complete so many classes in that subject area. So that is something that's hot right now. For all things else, dual credit, turn it over to Ms. Brown.
Good evening. I'll just reiterate, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it, and really want to share what's going on with scheduling with all of you. So glad you're here. I'm Amanda Jerome. I'm the College and Career Coordinator for our district, and currently serving as the CCR coach here at Davis County High School. So all dual credit requests for any student wanting to take college classes in any capacity would come through me. We have lots of academy programs. We have an agriculture academy that starts as young as 8th grade for students in middle school. We have early college, which is our associate's degree program, which students can go over for 1 block a day and take engineering coursework for college credit there. We have the Life Science Academy, which meets at OCTC in the Science Building. It's the study of biomedical science, so we are preparing students for healthcare careers there. And then our next big thing that we're getting ready to open in the morning is our dual credit and technical application. So many of you probably have students who want to pick up a class here or there at the college. They may want to do part-time college and part-time classes here. They may want to take some of our awesome offerings, which are listed here on the document that you received. That are here in the building that are taught by our teachers, so we highly encourage those as well. It's a great way to get dual credit in an easy capacity. You just walk down the hall, you can take our teachers, so really keep right on those teachers and that. Many of those folks are here tonight, so appreciate them. But we have some new offerings next year, so our list is even more expanded than normal, so we're proud of that. So in the morning at 8 a.m., every single rising junior and senior will receive an email from me that invites them, if they would like to and are eligible to participate and to complete the dual credit application. So that application would allow them to be considered for part-time college classes at the community college, and that can include general education classes or even the technical programs that are offered at the college. So in your academic planner, you would schedule your classes, you would request college hours for the blocks that you would like to take college hours. So for technical programs, for instance, a lot of times those are 2 blocks because they're either morning programs or afternoon. Students who are taking early college would request all 8 blocks as college hours, so we would go from there. Some students may just want to take 1 block of college hours, and they want to pick something up at the college and then come here for the rest of the day. So we have a lot of variety. As you can imagine, with all the students that we have enrolled in dual credit, every single student has their own very individualized schedule. So as I said, that application will open in the morning. It will be emailed to the students. It will be highly publicized. I'm here almost daily, and if I'm not here, I do have a note on the CCR Center door, as I am trying to complete my own duties as district coordinator. But students are welcome to email me. I'm usually pretty responsive and try to email folks back definitely the same day, so they can reach out. And if I'm not here by chance one day, then I would definitely be here the following day, so they can swing by and see me in the CCR Center. That application will be open through March 24th when scheduling ends. And that's also for the technicals, so it'll have instructions on there about completing that application, but then also signing up for an appointment to be able to come into the CCR Center and meet with an OCTC advisor to get scheduled for the classes that they desire. The other applications for Empower You are currently open, and those are available on the DCHS webpage under parents and students, either one, and then there's a link to Empower You, and you can access those there for things like engineering, Life Science Academy, and early college. And the academy applications will actually close on March 15th, so if your student is interested in one of those academies that I just named, it would be important to go ahead and get that application in. Thank you.
At this point, I just want to add to what Ms. Jerome said. There are free classes given to juniors and seniors. So this year was the first year that they award 2 junior year and 2 senior year. So as you're making decisions and thinking, it's also important to think about the financial commitment of that. So if you sign up for 4 classes, then maybe 2 would be free, and then the other 2 you would be responsible for. What is the rate right now? $273 for a 3-hour class. So that's what you're looking at if you're just kind of estimating and making a plan for your students. So I wanted to add that. So there is dual credit scholarships for our students. So the scheduling timeline, what to expect, it's starting now. So course recommendations, as I said, have already been entered by teachers. Course requests can now be entered by our students and by you, so you can look at that together. And then schedules will be ready just like last year. about a week before school starts, she'll come and pay fees, parking pass, and all that, and we'll have schedules ready at that time. So again, in the advocate section, before scheduling closes, they will complete their diploma checklist, look at the scheduling handbook for electives, watch the video that discusses how to enter your requests in IC, review your choices with your parents. So I really want to stress the importance of watching those videos. So as a parent, if you have a lot of questions, I'm going to ask that if you contact a counselor, we're going to say, have you watched our video? Because they're like 20 to 28 minutes long, depending on which counselor you can. And we really go over like everything you can think of, I feel. So those answer a lot of questions. If you watch that and you're here tonight and you have more questions, we'll be happy to help. So we'd like to encourage you to get started that way. In the advocate session those days, they'll be with their advocate teachers, but we will be in a Google Meet ready to answer their questions as they ask. So we're here to support them and you, and we thank you all for your time tonight. And we'll stick around for just a couple minutes if there's any last minute questions. Otherwise, good luck, and we're here for you. Thank you.
Hold on one second. When you do your scheduling online, make sure that you do it, enter it, complete it. If you do not do that, especially with electives, you will get leftovers. It's important that you hear that. Go through the scheduling process, enter all that stuff, okay? And because if students do not enter that stuff, then when we recognize that, we will enter those, and they will not be getting probably what they want. All right, it's important to do that. So make sure that you do that. I want to talk to you a little bit about, before you leave, the difference between college and AP. All right? We do have 22 AP courses that we teach right here. All right? If they pass that course, they get so much college credit. Some more than just a class of college credit. Also, we will have 10 to 12, we hope, dual credit courses that we will teach here. When they leave campus, I'm going to be right up front with you because I'm going to have this conversation with my daughter this year. They need to be mature enough to handle a class at OCTC, okay? If they're full-time, like early college, if they apply for early college and they get into early college, we will not see them. If you've been to college, you know that a lot of times those teachers do not talk to parents, okay? So you need to stay on top of them. Have them show you, hey, what kind of grades are you making? Are you getting up? Are you going to class? Are you participating? Because the last thing we want is at the end of the year, and here it is graduation, and I didn't go to class, and now we need a math credit. Okay? I'm going to be real with you on that. Students need to be mature enough to leave campus and do what's right. Okay? We all were teenagers once. I wish I had that opportunity, but I don't know if I've been mature enough to handle it. So make sure that you're having those conversations with your student. That's very, very important. All right? And you can have the best of both worlds. You can take AP here, all right, which I would put our AP teachers up against anybody. And you can take college courses there. My daughter will be one of those, okay? You can have the best of both worlds. But there's so many opportunities from leaving campus, staying here, and doing those things. And it's unique to each and every individual student, all right? Some of them might be in the performing arts. Some of them might be in fine arts. Some of them might be in band. Some of them might be in business. Whatever it might be that they need that correct avenue to go. So be sure of it. And again, watch those videos. If you have questions tonight, we're going to stick around for a little bit. If you have individual questions, also our admin teachers will hang out for a little bit. And then after you watch those videos, if you have more questions, you contact us anytime. All right, we're here to serve you. I appreciate you being here tonight. Need anything else, guys? All right, thank you all for being here. Have a great night and be safe.